Hey guys, this is Hannah and I have another layout process video for you today. So I'm using this sketch and I'm going to be using the Boys of Summer Scraptastic kit for this month. I haven't really used much of it. I've actually had a really hard time just getting it to work for my style. So I really want to make it obviously worth my while that I bought the kit. So I thought, well, maybe if I try to use a sketch this time, I can come up with something. I mean, I've been enjoying watching everybody else come up with some really great ideas for this kit. So I actually liked the way this one turned out a little bit more. I did add a couple of things that were not in the kit, which maybe is partly why I liked it a little bit more. I think sometimes just sticking right to the kit can just make you feel a little bit more contained. So sometimes when I'm having a problem, when I do use a kit, you know, making it work to fit my style, sometimes just adding 1 or 2 pieces of paper can really make the difference. So here I'm trying to cut a circle, and as you see, I freeformed it, and I am the worst circle cutter ever. I think it's so wonky, but I kind of want it to have a little bit of a hand-drawn look. I don't want it to be perfect. So here I'm just trying to fix it up and try to make it not too bad. And then I know I'm going to be putting pictures on it too. So I'm not too worried about it being completely off, but I am trying to fix it up a little, and I edge all my edges with the, what did I use? Old Road, the Prima chalk anchor. So I really love those chalk anchors. It's so much easier than using, you know, an ink pad, and of course I don't have a blender yet, which maybe that would be easier too, but it's just nice to have this little handy little chalker, and it, you know, when it starts running out, it has a fainter look than when it's first brand new. So, you know, if you use it, it can give you a little bit of a different look. So here I'm trying to decide which piece I want to use. And I actually liked it up at the top, but I didn't keep it that way. Of course, you know, sometimes looking up at it, it looks a little bit different than when you're sitting. I scrap sitting, so, you know, just that angle sometimes does make a little bit of a difference, and I wish I'd seen it from up top, because I think I would have kept it up at the top, but I didn't. I chopped part of it off, but I don't mind it because I do add some stuff on it on the sketch, I believe, which is from papersecrets.net, and that's Kelly Holefield is the one who drew the sketch. So she uses a lot of banners, and I'm really into banners right now. I really like the look of them. I know you guys are probably like, man, she uses banners all the time. So I just kind of edit a few of these pieces out, because this layout took me a while, and I was hoping that it would be really quick because I used a sketch. But it took still about like an hour and a half almost to do. So maybe because I outlined pretty much everything on this layout, which sometimes is just very therapeutic in itself, but I did just want to give it a little bit of a different look. I don't always do outlining. I used to when I first started watching Mercy, Tiara, or Tracy, and so, you know, I was like, I don't know, I'll try it. And I tried it, and I just started doing it. And then, so lately though, I've been trying to get out of it because I don't know, I don't always like it. And so here is a piece of paper that is not from the kit. This has, it's really hard to see in the video, but it has a little bit of a different tone of blue alphabet letters, and that's from a die cut with a view pack that I bought when I first started scrapping. You know, I bought the big packs with all the different stuff in it because you're so excited and you see this big pack of paper and you're like, yay, paper! And And so it's really, really thin. So I don't like using that pack very often, but you know, I do want to use some of the old scraps that I have. So, and the blue goes really well with the blue in the stars in this paper, which is Cartabella, the star paper. That's from their boy line. And I'm going to put that frame where I have it. I don't know if you guys can see, but that one picture is my son while we were sitting on the swing outside. The kids are playing, and we have a pretty small backyard, but they make use of that backyard. And he got tired, and so he came over to sit with me, and he put his hand right in my hand, and he was holding my hand. And let me tell you, that boy is a sweetie. He just loves his mama. So it was such a cute little thing that he did, and he has never done that again, and he never did it before that. So it was just a cute little moment that I, of course, had my phone and the camera, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a picture of this. So I got a quick picture, and of course it didn't last very long, but before he was ready to get up and be the crazy boy that he is. So that paper right there is from the one that I cut out the zigzag lines from, is from Crepe Paper, and that's from their Pier collection from last summer. So of course you see I accidentally cut a little line in my paper because I didn't move it, which I end up using it that way anyway. She uses a lot of banners, and I ended up not using banners. I wanted to, but I ended up just cutting it on a diagonal, and then I use these zigzags on my layout as well, just to add a little bit of a different design. And so here I make a banner, and like I said, I wanted to use banners, and that piece was just a little too chunky, and it might have worked out nice, but I tried up at the top first, and that paper, the top paper and the bottom banner paper is from Crepe Paper, their Boys Rule collection, and it has different size dots and different colors. So it's a really fun paper. And so I put one up at the top, and then down at the bottom like you see, I'm outlining here. And that pen that I'm using to outline is the new Chamel gray pen. So I really like those. They're not as dark as if you like to use Sharpies. They're definitely not as dark. But they're about the same thickness. Maybe it's a little tiny bit thinner, but not by much. So I like that it's not too strong, so it just barely gives it a little bit of an extra touch. And it does help make everything blend together since I use so many different types of papers. I mean, obviously the girls at the Scraptastic Kit Club do a great job at putting together. Jessica, I think, is the main one, and she puts all the papers together, and she does a great job getting papers to match and look great together. But sometimes you still need a little bit of a help, and I think the thing with this kit is the Cartabella paper is great. It's so thick and it's really, really nice, but the texture is very different than the Crepe Paper, which is very sleek and smooth. So it really needed something else to just kind of help it, you know, blend in together, make it look like it is actually supposed to be together. So, which is part of the reason why I like that I used this, the Pier, and this was a scrap that I had left over, and I kept wanting to use it, and I have another layout that I'm going to be posting soon where I almost use it in that layout, but it just didn't, couldn't get it to work. So, but the colors look really, really nice with this, and so it just kind of gives it something a little bit different. I mean, it's not, you know, one of my best layouts, but so here I am cutting this on a slant, and I'm just trying to figure out where I want it, where I think it's going to look the best. Of course, I, you know, get my picture, which I, you know, put them at a little bit of an angle, just that those angles to kind of, I don't don't like my pictures standing back to back or like sitting back to back very often. I either like to have a little bit of a space or, you know, at a little bit of an angle, and that kind of gives it just a little bit something else, some other lines to look at. And so, yeah. Also in the picture where that frame is, which is also by Crepe Paper, you can see my leg, and I'm wearing, it's hot, it's summer in Hawaii, and I'm wearing shorts, and so, but you can see a lot of my leg, and I was trying to cover that up because that wasn't what I wanted to focus on the picture. So that's what I like sometimes about scrapbooking is, you know, you can have a picture and maybe you wouldn't have used it or just put it in a photo album. You know, there's ways that you can cover something up if you don't like it. I mean, obviously, if it's, you know, there's certain things you can't cover up. but I like, that's partly why I use the frame, but I also wanted to emphasize the main focus, which was my son holding my hand. And here I'm just looking through the ephemera pieces, trying to get things to fit, trying to layer because that's what I like to do. And of course, for whatever reason, I just found that a lot of these pieces, I just was having a hard time. So I chose to use this frame from the kit, and I actually like that little thing that was in the frame, but I don't use it. I don't keep it. I use some other stuff. I realized I had the star, and I have this tag which has a reindeer head on it, and we don't hunt. I have family that hunts, and I'm sure I could go on Facebook and find a picture of someone in my family hunting, but we don't hunt. So to me, it just didn't fit with anything. So it was either use it now or wait till Christmas and try to make it like Christmassy, which I was not gonna do. I try not to save my papers. Sometimes there's certain things that I do want to save for, you know, a special picture, but I try not to save it. I just try to use it because you know what, you're gonna be able to find another piece of paper to use for something else. So I use a piece of hemp twine that I've had forever because I used to make necklaces when I was a teenager, and I just had a ton. So I used that to put in the tag. It just kind of gives it a little bit of extra something else on the page, another texture. I do not do anything. I don't do much with groups of threes. I do have 3 spots where I do embellish, but it's not a triangle. I know that. Sometimes it's okay to break the rules. And I think it's just because of the way the layout floor plan is, or the sketch is. It really didn't have much of a triangle to begin with. On the sketch, it had something up in the corner opposite of where all the banner flag stuff was. But I chose not to put anything up there, and I chose to put my title up in that empty space. Yeah. So here I'm just placing around. I put that on pop dots. I cut out me getting all the pop dot stuff because sometimes those pop dots just take forever to get the paper off. So here I'm looking through my embellishments, and I use one of the little clear photo frames that came from the Crepe Paper pack, and here I'm using a piece of wood veneer or a wood die cut that's the exclusive from the kit. And one side says POW, but I didn't think that went. But I liked the jagged edges, so I just flipped it around. That's the nice thing about when there's something only on one side, you can just flip it over and use a different part. I put that piece of Fancy Pants, that's from their new boy line, or newer boy line, and that says together is my favorite place to be. And it just went really well with the picture and really well with just the story of my son being such a cutie. And here I'm just looking for something for that corner next to my son. I didn't really want all that open space. So here on the Crepe Paper sticker sheet is like a file, like one of those roto desk things. that you put addresses and stuff on. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So I use that for my journaling, and it just says that, so I put, Sam is truly a mama's boy and loves me to pieces. He is constantly showing his affections. So I just kind of figured the picture did tell a lot of what was going on. So I wrote that, but then I kind of wanted to add something else because, you know, I didn't really think that that completely said the whole story. So I end up also journaling up on that blue zigzag paper from the Crepe Paper Pierre collection. Of course, here I found a sticker that says, love this little dude to the moon and back. And I put that on pop dots to kind of get it to stand up. And so here I am journaling a little bit more. And it says, I will miss all his cuddles when he grows. So I was thinking about putting more, but I kind of wanted to keep it in that little spot since I had the frame there. So that was just my preference. But then I found this other sticker that was on the crepe paper sheet, the same design, that painted type of circle that looks kind of like the sun. So I put that there. I really liked the way that looked. And then I just stuck another sticker that was a banner sticker that says hey buddy on it. So here I am just looking for stickers and stuff to put in little spaces. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not going to add anything else. Sometimes you can keep adding and it'll look nice, but I just really had a hard time, and maybe that's why this layout took a while. I just had a hard time finding things that I thought would layer well. So I keep going back to that die cut piece exclusive from the kit, and it just wasn't gonna work. You couldn't see the white very well, which is really what I was only going to use part of it because I didn't want the word that says BAM on it. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't think that really went with the picture. So here I'm just looking through some old stuff because I have some of those label type sticker or like pieces, but those don't really work. So here I have a piece of wood veneer from an old kit that says capture. So here I'm trying to decide exactly where I want it, and I end up putting it on top. And part of the reason of me putting it there also is to cover up my leg a little bit more. And I think even though you can see through parts of it, I think it does a good job of you not realizing that you can see most of my leg there. So here's a little tag type of thing that I had gotten not too long ago from My Mind's Eye. So, and I use a button from there, one of those chipboard buttons, and I didn't poke out the holes this time on those, so I just put it on there, and there is some like sticky stuff on there. And then I also find a heart that says My Guy, and that was from one of the sticker sheet from, I think it's Bella Boulevard, if I remember correctly. So here I'm just looking for like some dots and stuff, and I use some, those are just like pearl, they're like a no-name brand from Joann's, and those are navy blue, and I just thought the blue kind of went really well with the other blues that are in the layout. And here I'm looking for alpha stickers, and those are EK Success, just cheap foam ones, but I really like that black, which as you can see it's like almost done. So I was at first I was looking to see if I had enough letters, and there was no O, but there was a 0, and I thought I could make it work. So that's kind of why I put it a little wonky, because the O was a little bit larger than some of the other letters. So I thought by putting it wonky that you wouldn't be able to notice as much, especially because it's in the middle. And also I use these Dear Lizzie round keyboard, they're like keyboard stickers, like stickers. And that is black and gray. I really enjoy those. So let's see. Yes, those are Dear Lizzie, and the name of those are called Yo-Yo. So they're just really fun. And I had to add, I think I added glue dots to get those to get on. So here are some stills of it, and boy, that 20 minutes goes fast sometimes. So yeah, here's some stills of all the different angles, and I hope you guys enjoy, and until next time, have a